Hello, welcome back to Empire of the Sun. And last time, our video ended with the battles in Manila, Singapore, and Balikpapan. Just to tell you, I've skipped ahead a couple of cards or logs ahead just because, there's combat resolution and PBM, all stuff you already know how to do. So there's not a lot to talk about there. But just to give you a summary of what happened, if you remember, there's a battle here in Singapore, air battle here in Singapore, air battle in Manila, and there was that occupation here, uh, landing in Balikpapan, and they were all wins for us. What happened was he missed the die roll. He missed the intelligence die roll. He rolled a 9, which was very, very unlucky for him. That was the only way he could miss. That was the only way he could miss the Japanese attack. Because we rolled a 9 and he rolled a 9. So that was unfortunate. So all the attacks are in surprise, and so that pretty much destroyed his air power in Singapore, destroyed the air power in Manila, and the landing at Balikpapan was a sure thing. Not that there was any doubt, really. There was enough firepower in Manila that even if he was not taken by surprise, uh, it would have been an auto win anyway. I had 40 factors against his 10. That's an auto win because the worst I can do is roll a quarter result. So that would have destroyed that. Here in Singapore, I did the same thing. I had 72 factors against 18, and 18. There's 70 factors against 18, and the worst I can do is roll a quarter result, and that would have resulted in 18 hits, and that would have destroyed him. So those are all sure things, and this being a Balikpapan was pretty much a sure thing as well. So that didn't matter. The surprise attack was nice, but it didn't really matter in the long run. The one good thing about it is that because it was a sure thing and because it was a surprise attack, he didn't have a chance to roll any of those nasty 9s that the allies are so prone to rolling. So he wouldn't have had to take losses or air losses. Okay, so what he did was he went that to PBM, and now it's the first allied turn, and he went ahead and moved. He played Operation Romulus, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Operation Romulus, and then he went ahead and did that, and he deployed some of his guys. He put a lot of guys here, and then he put his air forces here, and went ahead and bombed. Went after did a bombing run here in try to do a spoiling attack here. And ordinarily, I would say that's not a bad thing. It's not a terrible thing to do. But I don't agree with his movement here, and why? Well, because for one thing, the Japanese, or the Allies, I should say, should already get clued in. There's a flag that's waving that basically says Japs have a very bad hand. They don't have any more military cards. Okay, so the last thing you really want to do is to give him that opportunity to get military cards. What do I mean by that? Now, there is a possibility, and it turns out that we do have it. We do have that. There's always a possibility that he has this card, right? We happen to have this card, this JN25 code change card. Of course, the Allies don't know that. But the thing is that because he was able to launch an attack, we were able to use this card to draw a strategy card. Okay, and hence strengthening our hand, or potentially strengthening our hand. If we didn't do an attack, then there was no way for us to play this for the event and get a strategy card. So we'd be stuck with this really lousy hand that we got from the beginning. But he did play it, and so I did play the JM25 code change card, and I drew a bonus card. And I was hoping military card, please, military card. And guess what I got? Yes, that's right. I got a submarine attack, which is nice. I mean, but still, come on, military card. I don't need any more draw strategy cards because I already have this. I already have this U.S. inter-service rivalry card to draw a strategy card. So hopefully we'll be able to get um, a military card from that. Spoiler alert, we didn't. Okay, spoiler alert. We didn't get a military card, so it's very, very frustrating at this point because we can't, for the life of us, get a military card. All right, so what happened here? So obviously I played this intelligence card, we drew a strategy card, the submarine attack card, and then we intercepted. Okay, we intercepted. Okay, and so okay, I just put those the drawn cards markers there, and then I toggled the South HQ, activated the South HQ for the reaction, and so I put that card and that card. So there were all these guys that reacted to that. I reacted with my two Japanese air fleets there, as well as the Japanese air unit from Manila. Okay, so yeah, so we've got that, right? So you've got all these guys. So I've got 22 plus 42, 58, right? 42 plus 16 is 58. 58 factors battling these 13 guys, okay? All right, so I rolled, he rolled a 7, okay? He rolled a 7. So he was able to do, I think that's a full result. That's 13 hits. And I rolled a 5, which I think is a half result. Let me just double check here. 5 is a half result, and 7 is a full result. Okay, in air naval combat, as you can see. And so he gives me 13 hits, and I give him half result of 44 plus 40. Wait, 44 plus 16 is 60. Is that 60? 58 Japanese factors. 58 Japanese factors. Yeah. 22 plus 20 is 42 plus 16 is 58. 58 divided by 2 is 58 divided by 2 is 29. So I inflicted 29 hits on him. Okay. So I wasn't able to destroy him completely. Okay. So I assume, is going to hit my 22, my 5th Air Division, which causes that to happen. And I hit him, which allows me to flip both of the air units and eliminate the FE air, the Far East air, and reduce the AVG to this. All right, so the bombing did not succeed, and I was able to inflict quite a few losses on him at the price of some of my air units as well. Wasn't really crazy about this move. One thing, because of what I just talked about, the intelligence card, but also because, yes, the common wisdom is to attrit, go ahead and exchange Allied air factors or Japanese air factors, because you get 5 a turn. And yes, I can see that, and yes, I agree to that in principle with that. But we have to be careful in the early part of the game with the Allied air forces in Burma, in the CBI theater, because all their units are yellow dot units. The AVG is a yellow dot unit. The FE air is a yellow dot unit. They cannot receive replacements. So your 5 air replacements isn't going to do you a bit of good in Burma at this point in time, because you just don't have, you can't take replacements. So you don't want to get your air units in Burma all shot up in the beginning of the game. Yes, you are treating the Japanese. Yes, that's a good thing, but okay, there's a cost to it. And without air power, the Japanese now have, like, not a free hand, but certainly an easier time in going after the Allied force, because the Allied force won't have enough air cover. Okay, so that's what happened. And so there was the the PBM and all that good stuff. Okay, and I went ahead and played my next card because it was my turn. So I played the Battle of Kolombangara card against the CFHQ for 5 activations. Okay, and so what I did was, what did I do? Can't remember now. Oh yeah. So I have activated these two, the Megami, these guys here. Activated the Ryujo. Okay. Activated the army in Kota Baru, with the hope of landing here in Batavia, and that's what I did. And notice now what happens is I'm able to activate Miri, I was able to activate these guys, and land in Surabaya. Remember what I said in the beginning of the video, or the initial video, where I said that if the Allies had done their naval or emergency naval move properly, then they would have been able to get this cruiser, these cruisers down here. They would have made, if this had been down here, well, come on, if this had been like down here, and this guy had say been here, for instance, this would have been a battle axe, okay? And the Dutch cruiser, say would had gone over here, this would have been a battle axe, okay? I cannot do both on one card because since I played this card for the event, not for the event, excuse me, for the ops, I'm only limited to one battle hex. So I had to either land here or land here. I can't do both. Okay, so to do both, I would have had to play another card. Okay, so that's where the this whole thing about the um, uh, emergency naval move comes in. That's why it's important. Okay, because especially for a hand like mine, where it's really weak and I don't have a lot of military events. Okay, but because of that, I was able to land here. I was able to land there and not declare battle hexes at all. Where did I declare my battle hex? I don't remember. Oh, I did do a battle here. Who was it? Oh, here. I landed another force down here. Okay, I landed a force down here in Tarakan and used the carrier Regio in the 19th Army, which cost me another ASP. I think I go ahead. I don't know. I haven't toggled it yet, but I will in a few minutes. So now I'm able to do that. I'm able to do a battle here, okay, and able to do land force here and here because the emergency naval was not as optimal as it could have been. All right, so this is going to be this is a sure thing, or close to being a sure thing, because this would be a +4. Would be a +4 modifier for me because that would be +4 for the Ryujo, and the fact that the Ryujo is a light carrier, so I have naval and air superiority on the hex. So that would have given me +4. The hex is a -2, so that's a net +2 for me. The worst I can roll is a 2 on the air. Is the worst I can do is roll a 0 +2 would give me 2. The 2 would give me a half result, and that would repel the 19th Army, but only on a 0. Only if I roll a 0. Anything else would give me at least a full result, and that would eliminate this Dutch regiment. And it turns out that's what happened. I was able to eliminate the Dutch regiment. So anyway, so I gave my opponent, I handed it over to my opponent because the Ably unit was, so he didn't have the opportunity to react and all that kind of stuff. All right, so there we are. Okay, so we'll go ahead and stop here, and I'll show you what happens in the next video and what he did with his turn, what the Allies did with their turn. Okay.